put it simply here, I've done a review on this game before, but my opinions and perspectives have changed in light of new information, and I've decided really just to remake this review, especially considering the fact that I have much better audio. Now do keep in mind that this is a slightly outdated version of the game, and it is also running fraps as well, so, you know, compute power consumption, you know, high compute power consumption is going to be just a thing, really. But the thing that really does sort of ruin this game for me when it comes to, well, it's just overhyped. I mean, Watch Dogs, when I saw the trailers for it, I envisioned that it was going to be very fascinating and very powerful. I envisioned that it would be the next Grand Theft Auto 5. However, the thing that really does annoy me is that simply is not the case. This game is a good game. In fact, it's fun and it's enjoyable. But when you put the price tag up there and when you see how poorly it performs on computers compared to games like Skyrim, it really does suck. It also, the graphics aren't even as good as they could be on the PlayStation 4, and that system is relatively powerful compared to, say, the PlayStation 3. The PS4 certainly isn't the most powerful thing in the world, and you could probably beat it with a $500 AMD computer, but it's not weak, and it can certainly do a hell of a lot better than what I've seen on the PS4 as well. I really do find it annoying how this game was just whipped together, and the optimizations for it on PC are pathetic, and the price tag is about $80. Now, don't get me wrong, I still hold the position that Watch Dogs is a good game. The storyline, you know, might have some few flaws in it. I mean, there are some cliches, and, you know, bad terminology was used to referring to things related to cryptography and security. But I can really look past that, as there is a separation between the actual developers of the game, people who are generally speaking educated in areas of cryptography and security, between that and the writers and the people doing all the lines. I mean, I get it, you can't really have 100% communication, and perfection is, of that level, is just, well, impossible, really. But the thing that really does ruin this game is, you know, its price and how much it's been hyped up. If it were really just put out there for what it is, and if, you know, it highlighted the positive elements of Watch Dogs, the fact you can do some pretty interesting stunts, you can hack bridges and do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, that's the element that I do love about this game. I mean, I like jumping over bridges like this. But the thing that really just does kill it is when you look at the trailer, the graphics are so much better. And the performance, you know, is horrible. To not go into a complete ramble, or whatever I should refer to as a rant, I imagine, this game, it's good, but it ain't worth 80 bucks. If you see, like, on Steam and in many game stores that I've been to, this game is priced at $80, I believe, USD, and I believe it's 90 AUD. I'm not sure about that, but either way here, the game probably isn't even worth half of its value. For example, Skyrim, you know, costs less than half what this game does, and it also has a larger map. It has more, you know, graphical elements to it. It's got better graphics, even with lower, you know, performance computers. It just flat out performs better and runs infinitely more smoothly. The thing that really just does ruin it, though, is that, you know, $80 would be a fair asking price if, you know, the performance of Watch Dogs was pristine on even old hardware. And my computer isn't particularly old, and this is absolutely sucking compute power. Another thing that really just does spoil is the fact that the mission script really is quite short, quite cliche, and in many cases it's just downright annoying. But really here, if you look past the price tag that this game has assigned to it, and the fact that even in a sale you'd probably still be paying for the nose for something that's, to be quite honest, mediocre, you know, it does have positive elements to it. This game's not a complete fail, and it doesn't fall flat on its face. In fact, I'd make the statement that the people who, you know, of course made this game, the developers, you know, have a level of talent that I'd imagine would be pretty insane. But what I would love to see is, you know, those mountains in the distance being accessible. I mean, it would be nice to drive around and do some stuff like that. One other problem that I see is just the fact that, you know, really, it performs quite horribly on PC. The graphics are nowhere near as good as what they were in the trailer, and I'd honestly like to see Ubisoft turn up the dials a little bit and probably improve performance across the board. And I do think that they need to remember the fact that people do buy AMD graphics cards, and they can and should make some optimizations to make them run a little better. Another thing that I also hate is the fact you can't run over pedestrians and you lose your reputation for doing that. It's just annoying. I understand realism is a thing. You, of course, would get a bad reputation for running people over in real life, but come on, it's a game. I'd like to run some people over without having to constantly ice criminals over and over again. But putting all that aside, and putting apart, you know, all the bad things about Watch Dogs aside, it's a pretty fun game. There are things that could be improved, there are some missions that just don't belong, and, you know, the story's pretty good. I'm not going to diss it for the gameplay or the story, but I will diss it for the performance, and just for the fact that this game runs quite horribly. It's $80, and Skyrim, a game that, you know, you can get on Steam during a sale for less than half of what it actually is, being $35 on Steam, versus getting Watch Dogs where you'd be lucky to get $20 off Steam at any point, and you'd probably also be lucky to get a, you know, price off at any point, even in, you know, a game store. I really just gotta call them as I see them. Watch Dogs is overhyped, overpriced, and it doesn't bring the same level of value that something like Skyrim would bring. It's not a bad game, and if it's up for sale on Steam for about $35 or something like that, or 20 or 40, I'd go for it. But you want to make sure that you've got decent cooling in your computer, as it will push your computer's hardware pretty hard. Anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to voice your opinion below. I mean, that's what the comment section is, you know, basically for. And, you know, just say what you like, really. If you think that I'm an idiot for holding this position, then you can do that. If you have a, you know, point where you disagree, then feel free to voice that opinion below, and I imagine that a very healthy discussion could indeed happen on my YouTube channel. That's all, guys, and this is just my opinion on Watch Dogs.